Chosen one. Heaven has paused everything around you so that this very moment would reach you. You are not like the rest. You have been handpicked, marked, and set apart since before the foundation of the world. You are not scrolling by accident. This message is God's hand tugging at your spirit, pulling you back into alignment with your calling. Listen carefully, because what you are about to hear carries the weight of eternity. You have felt it, haven't you? That quiet stirring deep in your chest. That sense that you were meant for more than what this world has tried to offer you. Others may chase after fame, money, or fleeting pleasures, but you have always known there was something different about you. That different is not a curse. It is a crown. You are set apart for a mission so much greater than yourself. The world has tried to silence you, but heaven has chosen this exact moment to raise your voice again. Every tear you shed in silence, every sleepless night, every prayer whispered when no one else was listening, it has all been gathered. None of it was wasted. Heaven never overlooks the tears of the chosen. They water the soil of destiny. Even when you thought nobody noticed, God saw. Even when you felt like your prayers bounced back, unanswered, they were being written into the eternal story. This is why you could never truly fit in. Even in rooms full of people, something inside of you whispered, "This isn't me. This isn't where I belong." That was the Spirit protecting your identity. You are not here to blend in. You are here to stand out. You are the light set upon a hill, the voice in the wilderness, the torch that darkness fears. The enemy has tried again and again to convince you that you are ordinary. But if you were ordinary, you would not have been targeted the way you were. Think about it. Why was your childhood so heavy? Why did betrayal cut so deep? Why did you face attacks that others seem to escape? Because you carry something dangerous to darkness. You carry a destiny that hell itself trembles over. Chosen one. Your very existence is proof that God's plan is unstoppable. This is not a coincidence. This is divine intervention. You are standing in a moment where heaven is handing you back your crown. Do not let it slip away. There is a door open right now. But doors do not stay open forever. Delay has robbed enough from you. Today is the day you choose to walk forward. The Word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the Lord's servants." You are not defenseless. You are shielded. You are chosen. This is the beginning of a journey that will awaken the warrior inside of you. But hear this carefully. Heaven is calling you to act. Do not just watch and scroll away. Plant a seed of faith with your response. Type the number 77 inches. The comments right now declare that you are stepping into covenant, that you are ready, that you choose obedience over delay. And before this moment passes, make sure you like this message. Share it with someone you know is struggling, and subscribe so you do not miss the rest of the words heaven has prepared for you. Because this is only the beginning. What's ahead will shake you, but also strengthen you. Chosen one. Every scar you carry tells a story of strength. Every storm you endured was never meant to break you. It was meant to shape you. You have walked through valleys others would have collapsed in. You have faced betrayals that could have destroyed your faith. Yet somehow, here you are, still breathing, still pressing forward. That resilience is no accident. It is the mark of someone set apart. You did not stumble into hardship randomly. The weight you carried was divine preparation. While others were being trained in comfort, you were being refined in fire. You learned how to endure when everything screamed to give up. You learned how to stand when the ground beneath you felt like it was crumbling. That is why your spirit has a depth to it that others cannot easily understand. Pain has been your teacher, but not your identity. Yes, it left its fingerprints, but it also carved strength into your soul. The nights you cried out in silence became the altar where heaven met you. You thought you were forgotten, but every whisper reached the throne of God. Every time you felt abandoned, you were actually being strengthened in the unseen. Your struggle is evidence of your calling. The greater the destiny, the greater the warfare. That is why you had to face storms that others avoided. That is why you were misunderstood, rejected, and cast aside. What the enemy meant for harm, heaven turned into training. Without the pain, you would not carry the authority you do now. Without the struggle, your voice would not carry the weight of truth that it does today. Chosen one, understand this. You were being forged in secret. The world only saw fragments, but heaven saw the process. And now, you are stepping into a season where the strength that was hidden will become visible. What once looked like brokenness is about to be revealed as unshakable power. You see, suffering has a way of pressing out shallow things. It forces you to dig deep, to find rivers in deserts, to cling to faith when everything else is stripped away. That is why you can walk into a room and carry peace others cannot explain. That is why your words pierce hearts, because they are baptized in fire, in tears, in endurance. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, works for us far more, an eternal weight of glory." Do you see it now? What seemed unbearable was actually birthing glory inside of you. The pain was never wasted. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every disappointment taught you patience. Every loss carved out space in your heart for deeper compassion. And now, you carry something the world desperately needs, the testimony of one who endured and refused to let go. Beloved, the struggle is not the end of your story. It was the foundation. It was the preparation. It was the stage upon which God will reveal His glory through you. What once made you weep will one day make you rejoice, because you will see how every detail was woven into a masterpiece you could not yet perceive. Hold your head high. Chosen one, the scars are not shame, they are proof. Proof that you were in the fire and survived. Proof that you were crushed but not destroyed. Proof that you were chosen, even in the wilderness. And now, that proof will become power. Chosen one, you know the sting of rejection. You have carried the weight of being the one misunderstood, the one left out, the one who never quite belonged. There were times you asked, "Why can't I just fit in? Why can't I be like everyone else?" But that was never meant to be your path. Your loneliness was not punishment, it was protection. When doors closed, you thought you were being shut out. In truth, heaven was sealing you off from paths that would have destroyed your destiny. The people who walked away did not see your value. But that does not mean you were without worth. It means your worth was too great for them to recognize. You were never designed to be ordinary, so you could never truly blend into ordinary spaces. Yes, It hurt. Yes. It made you question yourself. But in the silence of isolation, heaven was carving your identity. That season of being set apart was never meant to crush you. It was meant to distinguish you. Gold is not found in crowded streets. It is dug from hidden places. Diamonds are not displayed before they are refined. They are pressed under the weight of time and pressure. You, too, have been pressed. You, too, have been hidden. And that is the proof that you are precious, beloved. You were not overlooked. You were reserved. Reserved for a purpose, a season, and a destiny that requires a level of focus and purity that others could not walk in. That is why friendships shifted. Why connections faded. Why you felt like you were walking alone. It was not abandonment. It was divine alignment. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 27, verse 10, "When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up." Even when those closest to you turned away, you were never truly abandoned. The hand of God was always steady over you. Chosen one. Your loneliness was never empty. In those quiet spaces, heaven whispered secrets into your spirit. In those long nights, when you thought no one cared, God was training your ears to recognize His voice above every other. What you thought was rejection was actually direction, God pulling you closer to Himself. You are not strange for walking a path that feels different. You are marked. The oil on your life cannot be shared casually, and the calling on your life cannot be lived carelessly. That is why the road has been narrower for you. That is why compromise feels impossible. That is why you sense a constant pull back to holiness, even when you try to wander. And now, hear this, the loneliness you once cursed will become the testimony you bless others with. You will speak to people who feel forgotten, and your words will remind them they are chosen. You will meet those who feel like outsiders, and your very presence will assure them they belong to heaven's family. Nothing you walked through was wasted, not even your isolation. So here is what I need you to declare right now. Comment, "I am chosen." Don't just type it out of routine. Type it as a prophetic act, sealing what heaven has already declared about you. When you write those words, you are breaking agreement with every lie that told you you were not enough. You are rejecting the voice that said you didn't belong. You are standing boldly in the truth that being set apart was never rejection, it was preparation. Do not underestimate the power of your declaration. Heaven responds to faith spoken aloud. Commenting these words is more than interaction, it is agreement. It is saying, "I receive it. I claim it. I walk in it." And the moment you declare it, chains of loneliness begin to break, and the weight of rejection begins to lift. Chosen one, you are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. Chosen one. So much of your story has been written in silence. There are victories no one ever applauded, tears no one ever witnessed, and battles no one ever realized you fought. You carried storms in your heart while still showing strength on your face. And though the world may never understand the cost, heaven has recorded every hidden moment. The unseen battles are often the fiercest. When the enemy whispered lies into your mind, telling you that you were not worthy, not loved, not enough, you fought back with faith. Even when it was trembling, when the weight of disappointment pressed against your chest, you still whispered prayers through your tears. Those were victories, No one celebrated, but they were victories nonetheless. In those moments, you learned what true warfare feels like. It was not fought with weapons in your hands, but with resilience in your spirit. You discovered that silence is not weakness, and tears are not defeat. Every time you got back up after being knocked down, you claimed another hidden victory. Every time you refused to surrender to despair, you overcame again. Chosen one. The strength forged in private is the strength that sustains in public. That is why your presence carries a weight others cannot define. People sense something about you without even knowing your story. They cannot see the nights you wrestled in prayer or the days you held yourself together when everything inside you felt shattered. But they can feel the authority you gained from enduring. The prophet Elijah himself knew what it was to feel utterly alone, hiding in caves while carrying the weight of heaven's mission. Yet, in that solitude, he found God's whisper. You, too, have encountered him in the quiet places. You have heard his voice, not in the thunder or the fire, but in the still, small whisper that spoke to your heart when you thought you could not go on. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 16, "For a righteous man falls 7 times and rises up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief." This is the testimony of your hidden life. You fell, but you rose again and again. You rose. What no one saw was the perseverance you built. You refused to let failure define you. You refused to let pain silence you. You refused to let wounds become graves. Instead, you turned them into altars, places where you laid down your weakness and discovered God's strength. These hidden victories matter more than you realize. They were not wasted nights or meaningless tears. They were battles that proved your identity as a warrior of God. The enemy wanted to take you out quietly, before the world saw your light. But every time you stood up again, you exposed his defeat. Every prayer you prayed in private shook the kingdom of darkness, even if you felt unheard. Now, you walk with a depth of authority only gained through trial. You carry compassion because you know the weight of sorrow. You carry wisdom because you have wrestled with questions in the night. You carry strength because you refused to surrender. And all of it, every unseen battle, every hidden victory was preparing you for this moment, when your testimony will shine forth. Chosen one. Never despise the hidden seasons. They are sacred. They are the birthplace of strength, the soil where endurance grows, the workshop of heaven where warriors are formed. While others celebrated surface victories, you were being forged in silence. That is why you stand today with a resilience hell cannot shake. Chosen one. There is something undeniable about the light you carry. You have walked through valleys. You have endured storms. And yet when you step into a room, something shifts. Darkness recognizes who you are. Even if you do not fully see it yourself, that glow is not from your own strength. It is heaven's fingerprint upon you. Think back to the moments when you felt weakest, when you thought your light had burned out. Somehow, in those very times, others still came to you for encouragement, for guidance, for peace. Why? Because the fire in you could never be extinguished. You are not carrying a fragile flame, you are carrying a torch that refuses to die. Your very presence disrupts the plans of darkness. You may not always feel strong, but the Spirit of God inside you terrifies the enemy. This is why opposition rises against you. This is why temptation tries to lure you. This is why circumstances press hard against your faith. It is not because you are weak, it is because you are dangerous. Dangerous to despair. Dangerous to lies. Dangerous to every scheme of the enemy. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? That light you carry is not just yours, it is Him within you. And because of that, fear loses its grip. Chosen one. Understand this. Your life itself is a testimony. The way you endure, the way you rise again, the way you continue to love when it would be easier to grow bitter, that is light. Others are watching, even when you do not realize it. Your perseverance is preaching louder than any sermon. Your resilience is showing others what it means to be chosen. But light is not meant to be hidden. A candle under a basket serves no purpose. You have been called to shine, to let your testimony reach further than your immediate circle. And here is where your obedience becomes part of the message. When you allow what you carry to spread, when you share it with others, you are not just helping people, you are pushing back the darkness. So I ask you, with a heart full of sincerity, if this message speaks to you, let it also speak through you. Do not keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you love, someone who feels like they are drowning in shadow. Your simple act of pressing share could be the spark that lights up their night. And if you sense the Spirit confirming these words in your heart, do not hesitate to stay connected. Subscribe, not because of me, but because heaven has more to release through this flow, and I do not want you to miss it. There are layers of truth, words of fire, and revelations of destiny that will continue to build you up. Liking this message, too, is not about numbers. It is about planting a seed of agreement. Each small action is you saying, yes, I align with the light. Yes, I choose to stand. Ah, beloved, never underestimate the ripple of obedience. Your obedience in small acts, commenting, sharing, subscribing creates waves in the unseen. They are prophetic gestures, simple but powerful, declaring that the light in you is meant to spread. Remember this, you are not just surviving in the dark, you are carrying the flame that will guide others home. Shine boldly. Chosen one. The world needs what heaven placed inside you. Chosen one. There comes a point when mercy stands still, waiting for your response. You are not reading this by chance. This is a holy interruption. Heaven has pressed pause, so you can see clearly that you are standing at the edge of decision. This is not something to take lightly. You are one act of obedience away from breakthrough, but also one step of rebellion away from blindness. You have felt the tug in your spirit. You have sensed that time is not something you can keep wasting. Delay has already stolen too much from you. Opportunities missed. Doors that closed. Moments you cannot reclaim. But mercy, in its great kindness, has held the door open for you even now. That in itself is proof that God has not let you go. Beloved, there is a spiritual urgency here. When the Spirit calls, it is because something in the unseen is shifting. You cannot keep ignoring the gentle nudges, the whispers, the warnings that come through dreams, through conversations, through sudden convictions. Those are not coincidences, They are heaven's alarms, urging you to pay attention. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and your seed may live. Right now, you are being reminded, choices carry weight, not only for you, but for generations that come after you. You may feel weary. You may even feel unworthy. But grace does not call the perfect, it calls the willing. Do not think for a moment that your past disqualifies you. On the contrary, the very places of your weakness are the platforms where God's power is about to be revealed. Mercy is extended, but it is waiting for your yes. Chosen one. Do not let this moment slip past. Doors do not stay open forever. A delay in obedience can lead to years of wandering, but one act of surrender, one act of faith, can unlock the next chapter of destiny. This is why I am asking you to respond, not just silently in your heart, but visibly, prophetically. Right now, type the number 888 inches, the comments. Do you know why? Because in the language of faith, that number represents new beginnings, fresh cycles, and resurrection life. By typing it, you are making a declaration. I step out of delay. I step into renewal. I choose obedience. This is not about superstition. It is about alignment. It is you saying to heaven, I hear. I respond. I will not let procrastination rob me again. The simple act of writing 888 is a spiritual seal, a prophetic marker that you are stepping into a fresh flow of grace. Do not underestimate the power of such declarations. The enemy trembles when you align with God's word, because every agreement with heaven is a breaking of chains in the unseen. When you type it, you are silencing the voice of delay, the spirit of procrastination, and the lie that says, you have more time. And, chosen one, today is not about tomorrow. It is about now. Heaven has given you another chance. And this is the moment to choose life, to choose destiny, to choose obedience. Chosen one, you are not defenseless, even when you feel exposed, even when you feel like the world has been pressing against you. You are clothed in armor that eyes cannot see. From the moment you were set apart, heaven began to prepare you for battles that require more than human strength. You may not recognize it, but every trial you endured added another layer of protection. Every season of testing forged another piece of your armor. The sleepless nights taught you perseverance, that is your shield. The betrayals taught you discernment, that is your helmet. The tears you prayed into the ground became weapons sharper than any sword. What looked like suffering was in truth training. The enemy studies you, but he cannot touch what God has covered. There is a barrier around your life, an invisible defense that has kept you alive through things that should have destroyed you. That near accident that missed you, that illness that lost its grip, that moment of despair where you almost gave up, all of those were proof that the armor around you is real. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11, put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. You are not sent into battle empty-handed. You are equipped. The very Spirit of God clothes you in what cannot be pierced. Beloved, understand this. The armor is not given for decoration, but for battle. You were never meant to simply survive. You were meant to stand. When the storms rage, you are not left uncovered. When the arrows of lies fly, you are not left vulnerable. Even now, as you face challenges, heaven has already dressed you in what you need to endure. Sometimes you may wonder why the fight feels so constant. It is because your armor has been tailored for war. Warriors are not trained for comfort. They are trained for combat. And the calling on your life requires a warrior's spirit, not a passive heart. You are not fragile porcelain. You are tempered steel, forged in the fire of affliction, and strengthened by the breath of God. Chosen one. Even your scars are armor. They remind the enemy that you survived what was meant to destroy you. They remind you that you are not easily broken. They tell the world that you are covered in grace that does not fail. Every battle you face now is a rehearsal for the greater victories ahead. What you wear today is not just for you, it is for those you will one day protect. Just as soldiers fight not only for themselves but for their people, so too does your perseverance guard others. Your prayers shield your family. Your intercession covers your friends. Your obedience becomes a wall that protects generations after you. This is why you cannot afford to lay down your armor. You cannot afford to walk uncovered. You cannot afford to forget who you are. Chosen one. Heaven did not invest this much in you for you to shrink back now. You are dressed for destiny, armored for purpose, and equipped for the battles ahead. Stand tall. Stand firm. Stand clothed in the invisible strength of God. Chosen one. The whispers of heaven have followed you your whole life. You may not have always recognized them, but they have been there in quiet nudges, in inexplainable coincidence, in sudden warnings that kept you from harm. These whispers are not random, they are divine guidance, calling you closer to your purpose. How many times did you feel something urging you not to go down a certain path, only to later realize you were spared from trouble? That was not your intuition, it was heaven's whisper. How many times did you hear a word in a song, a phrase from a stranger, or even a line in a book that spoke directly into your situation? Those were not accidents. Those were messages carried on the breath of God. The Spirit often speaks softly, because His voice is meant to be recognized in intimacy. He does not always shout through thunder. Sometimes He comes as a quiet tug in the heart. When you felt uneasy about that relationship, that decision, or that compromise, that was His protection. When you felt peace in places that made no sense, that was His confirmation. Heaven has been guiding you all along, weaving a path through whispers. Chosen one. Pay attention. The world is loud, and the noise tries to drown out the gentle voice that matters most. But your spirit knows the difference. That sudden conviction, that stirring in your chest, that thought, that will not leave your mind. It is heaven speaking, and the more you listen, the clearer it becomes. We find in the book of Philippians, chapter 2, verse 13, "For it is God who works in you both to will and to do of His good pleasure." Even the desires stirring in your heart, when aligned with His will, are His whispers shaping your path. Think of how many times you were about to give up, but something inside told you, keep going. Think of the moments you prayed, not knowing if anyone was listening, only to feel a sudden sense of peace. That was the whisper reminding you that heaven hears. Beloved, the whispers are not just guidance, they are invitations. Each time the Spirit nudges you, He is not only protecting you from danger, but also pulling you into deeper relationship. He is teaching you to trust, to lean, to recognize the unseen hand steering your destiny. Do not dismiss these moments as coincidence. Heaven's language is often subtle, but its impact is eternal. The whisper you obey today could save you from years of regret tomorrow. The whisper you follow could open the door to opportunities you never imagined. Chosen one. You are being trained to hear what others ignore. This is why you cannot afford to harden your heart. Every time you honor the whisper, your spirit grows sharper. Every time you dismiss it, your ears grow dull. But even when you have resisted, His mercy has remained. He keeps speaking, because His love refuses to let you go. Pay attention to your dreams, to the sudden thoughts that rise while you are still, to the scriptures that seem to leap off the page. These are the whispers of heaven, tailored for you. They are not general messages, they are personal, direct, and timely. And know this, the whispers are leading you somewhere. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are being guided, step by step, into alignment with a destiny that only heaven could design. Trust the whisper, follow the nudge, believe the gentle voice that has never failed you. Chosen one. Sometimes heaven repeats itself because you did not realize the first time that it was speaking directly to you. That is why certain messages come back again and again. That is why certain verses, songs, or phrases keep finding their way into your life. It is not because you are slow, it is because God wants to make sure you do not miss the confirmation. There have been moments when you doubted, moments when you wondered, was that really for me? Or am I just imagining it? But heaven never stutters. When God speaks, His word does not return empty. That is why the same truth keeps echoing in your life, because it is meant to take root deep inside you. Beloved, confirmation is a gift. It is God's way of showing you that you are not wandering alone. He knows your heart wrestles with doubt. He knows you sometimes need more than one sign. And so, in His mercy, He sends whispers, then visions, then voices through others, until your heart cannot deny what is being said. Think of the times you prayed silently, too weary to speak aloud. And later, someone unknowingly said the very words you had whispered. Think of the times you were about to make a choice, and then suddenly something happened to slow you down or redirect you. That was confirmation. That was heaven aligning your path. The apostle reminds us in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 1, "In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established." You see, heaven confirms because heaven wants you to be confident. Every message that repeats is God establishing your steps. Chosen one, I need you to pay close attention. This moment right now is not just another scroll, another word, another voice online. It is confirmation that you are chosen, that you are marked, and that your destiny cannot be erased. That heaviness you have been carrying, heaven is addressing it right now. That decision you have been wrestling with, heaven is speaking clarity into it right now. And here is where you must respond. Not passively, not with a shrug, but with declaration. Right now, I want you to comment these words. I hear you. N, do you know why? Because when you type those words, you are doing more than interacting. You are testifying. You are agreeing with the confirmation that heaven has been layering over your life. You are saying, I am not deaf to the whispers. I am not blind to the signs. I hear, and I acknowledge. No, beloved, there is power in declaring what your spirit already knows. When you say, I hear you, you are breaking off the lie that says you are disconnected from God. You are silencing the doubt that tells you His voice is only for others and not for you. You are standing in faith that the confirmation is real and that it is yours. This act of obedience is not for show. It is for your own soul, because the moment you put it into words, you seal it. You stop the enemy from stealing what was sown in your heart. You protect the seed by wrapping it in declaration. Chosen one. Do not miss this moment. You prayed for a sign, and here it is. You asked for confirmation, and heaven answered. Now it is your turn to respond. Say it. Write it. Seal it. Comment, I hear you. Heaven is speaking. And your obedience is the proof that you have received the word. Chosen one. You stand on the front line of a battle that is not seen with human eyes. Every day, forces of darkness try to whisper fear, doubt, and distraction into your soul. Every day, heaven equips you with the strength to resist and the light to shine. You may not realize it, but you are a warrior in a war much bigger than yourself. This battle is not fought with fists or swords. It is fought in your thoughts, in your choices, in your words. It is the war between truth and lies, between faith and fear, between obedience and rebellion. That is why some days feel so heavy. It is not just life, it is warfare. But the very fact that you are still standing is proof that heaven has been fighting with you and for you. You have already seen how darkness reacts when you rise in faith. Attacks intensify, distractions multiply, and pressure mounts. Not because you are weak, but because you are carrying light too bright to ignore. Hell does not waste energy on the ordinary. It fights those who carry extraordinary purpose. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. Fear may try to grip you, but it is not your inheritance. Power, love, and clarity are your true weapons. Chosen one. Hear this. You were not placed on this front line by accident. You were sent as a torchbearer, a disruptor of darkness, a carrier of hope. That is why your life feels like a constant fight, because your existence itself is a threat to the kingdom of lies. But you are not alone. Heaven's army surrounds you. Angels stand guard over your steps, and every prayer you whisper is like an arrow loosed into the enemy's camp. Do not think your prayers are weak. They are weapons. Do not think your worship is small. It shakes the atmosphere. You are not powerless. You are equipped with weapons stronger than any attack. And now, chosen one, you have a choice. Will you let this light remain hidden, or will you allow it to spread? Because your testimony, your resilience, and your obedience are not just for you, they are for others who are watching silently, waiting for hope. This is why I ask you, with sincerity, to help carry this light further. If this word has spoken to your spirit, let it also speak through you. Share this message so that someone who feels crushed by battle can realize they are not alone. Like this word as a way of saying, I agree. I stand with this truth. And subscribe. because this is not the end. There are more revelations, more strength, and more weapons. Heaven is preparing to place into your hands through these words. Do not underestimate how simple obedience multiplies light. A single share can place this message in front of someone standing on the edge of despair. A single act of connection can bring someone into the flow of truth that strengthens them to keep fighting. And your choice to stay connected ensures you keep receiving the reinforcement heaven is sending your way. Chosen one, you are not on this battlefield alone. Others are rising with you. And together, the light grows stronger. So, hold your head high. Wield your faith boldly. And remember, the battle may be fierce, but the victory is already written. Chosen one. The enemy has tried to strip you of your identity more than anything else. That is why so many of your battles have not only been about circumstances, but about who you believe you are. If the adversary can make you doubt your worth, question your place, or forget your calling, then the fight is half won in his favor. But heaven has never once lost sight of who you truly are. You may have worn labels that others forced upon you. Words of rejection may have lingered, shaping how you saw yourself. Failures may have convinced you that you are defined by mistakes, but those labels were lies. And those failures were not your final story. From the very beginning, your true name was written in heaven, untouched by human opinion, untouched by your past. It is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 17, to the one who overcomes, I will give a white stone with a new name written on it, known only to the one who receives it. This is your truth. Heaven has already spoken a name over you that no one can erase. Beloved, identity is not rooted in titles, achievements, or the approval of others. It is rooted in the one who created you. Before you took your first breath, he declared your worth. Before you faced your first battle, he crowned you with purpose. That crown has not slipped, even in your weakest moments. The reason rejection hurt so deeply is because you were never meant to be defined by people. The reason comparison left you empty is because you were never designed to copy anyone else. The reason you felt restless in shallow places is because your spirit knew it was called to deeper waters. Every struggle tied to your identity has been a sign that you are marked by heaven. Chosen one. You must see yourself as heaven sees you. You are not forsaken, you are favored. You are not forgotten, you are remembered. You are not broken, you are being rebuilt into something stronger, purer, unshakable. The lies of the past do not hold the authority to define your tomorrow. You carry a name in heaven that echoes in the spirit realm. Darkness recognizes it, even when you have not yet spoken it aloud. That is why you have been targeted, because the mark of God rests on you. But the very fact that you are reading this now is proof that your identity has not been stolen, only hidden for a time, waiting to be revealed. Beloved, let your heart rest in this. You do not need to strive for worth. You do not need to perform for love. You are already loved with a love that cannot be undone. You are already chosen, already sealed, already crowned. The trials you faced were not to disqualify you, but to awaken you to who you really are. Think of how far you have come despite the opposition. Think of how many times you rose again when you thought you had nothing left. That resilience is part of your identity. You are an overcomer, not because you never fell, but because you refused to stay down. Chosen one, carry this truth with you. Your identity is unshakable because it is not built on sand. It is built on the rock, eternal and unchanging. The world may call you one thing, but heaven calls you another. And heaven's word is final. Walk boldly in that truth. Lift your head. You are not who they said you were. You are who He declared you to be, marked, named, and crowned, chosen one. Throughout this journey, you have seen how heaven communicates not just through words, but through symbols, through signs, through numbers that carry prophetic weight. The world may dismiss them as coincidence, but you know better. These numbers are reminders, seals, and confirmations that God is guiding your steps. You have felt it before. A certain number keeps appearing on clocks, receipts, license plates, addresses, and it stirs something deep in your spirit. That is not random. Heaven uses numbers to mark seasons, to announce shifts, and to remind you that nothing in your life is out of alignment with divine order. The number 40 represented testing for Israel in the wilderness. The number 12 represented authority when Jesus chose His disciples. The number 3 spoke of resurrection on the third day. Numbers carry weight because they are part of heaven's language. Chosen one. This is not about superstition. It is about attention. When heaven repeats something, it is because you need to notice. And right now, you are being invited to seal this moment with a prophetic act. The prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." Do you see? Heaven has appointed times, and you are standing in one. Beloved, the waiting you have endured, the delays that have tested you, have all been leading to this appointed season, and today you are invited to step into prophetic agreement with what heaven is declaring. This is why I am asking you to comment the number 4,444 right now. Why 4,444? Because 4 is the number of stability, of foundation, of divine order established in the earth. By declaring 4,444, you are saying, my steps are ordered, my foundation is secure, my destiny is aligned. You are not just typing digits, you are stamping your life with heaven's seal of order and completion. When you comment 4,444, you are rejecting the chaos that tried to consume you. You are breaking agreement with instability, fear, and confusion. You are saying, no more wandering, no more delay. I am planted. I am established. I am rooted in God's order. Chosen one. There is something powerful about responding in faith. It may feel small, but the unseen world responds to obedience. Angles move. Chains break. Clarity comes when you align with heaven's prophetic timing. And this number, this seal, is heaven's reminder that you are stepping into stability after seasons of shaking. Do not dismiss this. For too long, you thought your life was random, as if the pieces did not fit. But even in chaos, heaven was building. Even in storms, heaven was planting. Now, the foundation is being revealed, and you are standing on solid ground. This prophetic act is not just for you, it ripples into the lives of those connected to you. When you stand in stability, others find their footing too. When you declare order, Confusion lifts not only from your path, but from the path of those you influence. Chosen one. Type 4444 with faith. Seal it with conviction. Let it be the mark of this moment that you chose to stand, that you chose order over chaos, that you stepped fully into the foundation heaven built for you. This is your appointed time. This is the confirmation you prayed for. This is the sign that heaven has not forgotten you. Chosen one. Though your journey has felt solitary, you are not the only one. Heaven has always worked through remnants, a small but powerful group set apart to carry light in the midst of darkness. And you, beloved, are part of that remnant. You are one among many who are awakening in this generation, rising with fire in their bones and truth in their mouths. It can feel lonely at times, as though no one else understands the battles you face or the weight you carry, but scattered across nations, across cities, across hidden corners of the world, others are awakening just like you. They too have walked through rejection, endured crushing, survived fires of affliction, and yet emerged with unshakable faith. You are not isolated, you are connected to an unseen army. This remnant is not defined by numbers, but by purity. They are not the loudest, not always the most visible, but their hearts burn with uncompromised devotion. They are warriors who bow before heaven, but stand unyielding against darkness. They do not chase applause or approval. They live for obedience. And you, chosen one, are counted among them. We are reminded through the story of Gideon's army. When thousands were reduced to 300, it was not the size of the crowd that mattered, it was the purity of the few. Heaven does not require multitudes, it requires the faithful. That is why you were refined in fire, why your circle was reduced, why your road was narrower. Heaven was not discarding you, it was distinguishing you. The prophet Elijah once stood on Mount Carmel against hundreds of false prophets. Yet he was not truly alone. Hidden in caves were others who had not bowed to idols. Likewise, you may feel surrounded by compromise, but you are not the only one standing. Across the earth, heaven's hidden ones are rising, and together they form a remnant that cannot be silenced. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 1, verse 5, "Behold among the nations, and regard, and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days, which you will not believe. Though it be told you, this work is unfolding now through the remnant you included, chosen one." Understand the weight of this. The remnant carries responsibility. You are not just called to survive, you are called to represent heaven on earth. The way you speak, the way you live, the way you stand, even when it costs you, these are testimonies that shake the world around you. Your faith is not private, it is a flame meant to ignite others. Do not despise your size or your influence. Even if you feel small, heaven has proven time and again that the few can shift nations when surrendered fully. What matters is not how many follow you, but how faithfully you follow him. And when remnants unite, the sound they release shakes the heavens and terrifies the darkness. Beloved, you are part of something greater than you can yet see. The prayers you whisper are joining with thousands of others. The battles you fight in secret are victories echoed across a family of warriors spread across the earth. You are not fighting alone. You are part of the rising, an awakening that will not be stopped. So stand boldly. knowing you are connected to a lineage of chosen ones, the prophets before you, the disciples who walked with Jesus, the martyrs who gave everything. All of them were remnants, misunderstood yet unshakable. And now, heaven counts you in their company. Lift your heart. Chosen one, you are not an outcast. You are part of the remnant, hidden, refined, and now revealed. Chosen one. Every step of your journey has been bringing you to this place, the place of decision, the crossroads of choice. Heaven has been patient with you, merciful with you, guiding you with whispers and confirmations. But there comes a time when delay can no longer rule your story. You are standing at a gate, and what you choose now determines what opens before you. This is not about fear, but about clarity. The truth is simple. Obedience opens. Disobedience closes. Every great calling in Scripture was marked by a moment of choice. Abraham had to leave his homeland. Moses had to return to Egypt. Esther had to step into the throne room. Jesus himself declared, "Not my will, but yours be done." Each moment was a crossroads, a point where delay could not remain. Chosen one, you cannot keep circling the same mountain. You cannot keep waiting for perfect conditions. Obedience rarely feels convenient, but it always leads to destiny. You know this deep in your spirit. The longer you wait, the heavier your heart feels. That heaviness is not condemnation. It is the Spirit reminding you that delay steals more than time. It steals opportunities. It steals growth. It steals the momentum of your calling. It was declared in the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15. "Choose you this day whom you will serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Do you see? The word does not say tomorrow or one day when it feels right. It says this day. Choice is urgent. Beloved, hesitation has already cost you enough. How many doors have you looked back on, wishing you had stepped through them when they were open? How many relationships slipped because you could not decide? How many dreams have you buried under the weight of waiting? But heaven is gracious, and even now, an open gate stands before you. Do not confuse waiting on God with delaying obedience. Waiting on God is trusting His timing after you have obeyed. Delaying obedience is refusing to move when He already spoke. You know the difference. And deep down, you know what He has been asking of you. Chosen one, today is about surrender. It is about laying down excuses, fears, and doubts, and stepping into what has already been prepared for you. The enemy wants you to believe that obedience will cost too much. But the truth is, disobedience costs far more. Disobedience costs peace. Disobedience costs clarity. Disobedience costs the very destiny you were created to walk in. Think of Jonah, who ran from his assignment. His delay brought storms, not only on himself, but on those around him. Yet when he finally surrendered, destiny was waiting, unchanged, still prepared for him. Your calling is like that. Chosen one, it will not vanish. But delay only makes the journey harder. This crossroads is not here to scare you, but to remind you that heaven trusts you with choice. You are not a puppet, you are a partner. Your yes carries weight. It shifts atmospheres. It aligns not only your life, but also the lives of those connected to you. Beloved, you are stronger than hesitation. You are wiser than delay. You are chosen for obedience, not excuses. The gate is open now, and what you do in this moment will echo for generations. Do not shrink back. Do not wander. Step boldly into the path heaven is holding before you. This is the crossroads. This is the moment where destiny waits. Chosen one, the journey has pressed you, refined you, and prepared you for this moment. You have walked through fire and come out without being consumed. You have endured storms and are still standing. And now heaven places a crown before you, not of gold that fades, but of fire that cannot be extinguished. This crown is not earned by perfection, but by perseverance. It belongs to those who refuse to bow to darkness, those who endure until the end, those who keep rising even after falling. You, beloved, are one of those. Every battle you survived was not just about survival, it was about proving that you were marked to wear this crown. As the Apostle James wrote in his letter, chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the man that endures temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, promised to them that love him." That crown of life is your inheritance. It is the evidence that your faith has not been in vain. Chosen one, I want you to picture it, the crown resting on your head, glowing with the fire of heaven, radiating authority, identity, and destiny. This is who you are, not the rejected, not the forgotten, not the abandoned, but the crowned. And when you walk with that crown, you carry the atmosphere of heaven wherever you go. But here is the truth. Crowns are not just for display, they are for responsibility. To wear a crown is to walk in authority. It means understanding that your words carry weight, your choices carry influence, and your life carries light that others are drawn to. You are no longer just surviving, you are reigning. This is why I speak to you sincerely. If this message awakens something in you, do not let it stop with you. Shine your crown by letting others see the truth as well. Share this message so that someone who feels crushed under shame can remember they too are crowned. Like this word as an act of agreement, a declaration that you embrace your inheritance. Comment as a prophetic act. Even something as simple as, "I choose my crown." When you write it, you are saying to heaven and to yourself, I accept who I am. I refuse to lay it down. I will walk in my authority. End of 3. And yes, subscribe, because this flow of truth is not a single stream, but a river. There are more revelations, more encouragements, more prophetic words that heaven longs to pour into you. Staying connected ensures you keep receiving strength for the battles ahead. Beloved, this is not about numbers on a screen, it is about obedience in action. When you engage, when you share, when you declare, you are spreading the fire of your crown. You are multiplying light in places you cannot physically reach. One simple action can set off a ripple that touches hearts you will never meet face to face. Remember this, the enemy wanted to strip you of your crown. He tried through lies, through shame, through rejection, but he failed. And today, your very act of standing here, reading these words, receiving this truth, is proof that your crown is still yours. So, chosen one, rise with confidence, wear your crown boldly, walk as one who knows they are unstoppable, unshakable, unbreakable. You are heaven's warrior, crowned not by men, but by God Himself. And nothing, no trial, nor failure, no enemy can take that crown from you. This is your moment. This is your declaration. Take your crown, wear it, and let the world see the fire you carry. Chosen one. Every trial you faced, every tear you shed, and every moment you thought was wasted has been part of something far greater. What felt like destruction was actually construction. What felt like ashes was the soil where glory was being planted. You have not been forgotten. You have been prepared. The truth is that the most radiant victories are born from the darkest nights. When you thought your story was ending, heaven was only writing a new chapter. When you thought you were losing everything, God was clearing space for what could not be shaken. Beloved, you are about to see why you endured. It is written in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18, "For I reckon that the sufferings of this time are not worthy to compare with the glory to be revealed in us." Every wound, every scar, every silent prayer has been pressing you toward this unveiling. Your life is not just about survival, it is about transformation. Like a seed buried beneath the ground, you were hidden for a season, pressed down in darkness. But seeds are not buried to die. They are buried to break open. And now, what has been forming beneath the surface is pushing through. You are rising, and nothing can stop what heaven has placed inside you. Chosen one, the fire you endured has purified you. The storms you survived have anchored you. The betrayals you overcame have sharpened your discernment. Even the silence that once tormented you has trained your ear to hear heaven's whisper more clearly than before. None of it was wasted. Think of the potter and the clay. The clay does not understand the spinning wheel, the pressing hands, the intense heat of the kiln, but the potter knows exactly what he is shaping. You are that vessel. Every pressure, every fire, every turn of the wheel has been creating something useful, something strong, something beautiful. You may not see the full picture yet, but you can already sense the change. You walk differently now. You speak with more authority. You carry a peace that once felt impossible. People notice, even if they cannot explain it. That is the glory breaking forth, the unveiling of someone who has been in the fire and come out carrying heaven's torch. Beloved, your testimony is about to shine. The very places where you were wounded will become the places you release healing to others. The very chains that once bound you will become the story of freedom that sets others loose. Your past does not disqualify you. It qualifies you as a witness of redemption. This unveiling is not for pride, but for purpose. The glory revealed in you is not for your own comfort, but for the world around you. You are a carrier of light in dark places, a voice of hope in silent rooms, a living proof that God's promises never fail. Chosen one, lift your head. The ashes you once mourned are about to reveal beauty. The pain you thought would break you has become the platform for your strength. The season of hiding is ending, and the world is about to see what heaven has been shaping all along. Glory is not coming from outside, it is rising from within you. You carry it now. You are the unveiling, chosen one. The final seal over your life is not a mark of weakness, but of destiny fulfilled. Every step has led to this point, the confirmation that you are exactly where heaven intended you to be. What was once confusion has become clarity. What was once wilderness has become a pathway. What was once crushing has become your crown. You are not who you were, when this journey began. The struggles that tried to bury you became the very tools that lifted you higher. The pain that once silenced you has given your voice an authority that cannot be ignored. The shadows that haunted you have been pierced by the light you now carry. And this light, beloved, is not temporary. It is eternal. The Apostle Paul declared in his letter to the Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. This is the seal, the promise that what began in you will not be abandoned, but completed. Heaven does not start what it will not finish. Chosen one. The final seal is not only assurance for you, but also authority through you. It means you no longer have to question whether you are chosen, you know it. It means you no longer wrestle with whether you belong to the King who sealed you. It means you no longer fear the future, because your future is already written in glory. Do you realize what this means? It means you carry a signature in the spirit realm that darkness cannot counterfeit. It means you have been stamped with ownership, not by the world, not by failure, not by pain, but by heaven itself. You are God's. And that truth is unshakable. The seal also means protection. What is sealed cannot be tampered with without the authority of the one who sealed it. You have been covered, preserved, and marked in ways you cannot always see. The times you almost lost yourself, the times you almost gave in, the times you almost walked away, mercy preserved you, because the seal over your life could not be broken. Beloved, the final seal also carries responsibility. You are not sealed to sit still, you are sealed to shine. You are a carrier of truth in a generation drowning in deception. You are a voice of clarity in a culture clouded with noise. You are a reminder that the fire of God still burns in those who dare to say yes. You do not carry this seal lightly. You carry it boldly, knowing it is not your strength, but His that sustains you. And as you walk forward, others will recognize something different about you, not because you announce it, but because it radiates from within you. The seal speaks louder than words. Chosen one. Let your heart rest now. The striving can cease. The questions can quiet. You are sealed. You are chosen. You are crowned. The final word over your life is not defeat, it is destiny. The final note is not silence, it is song. The final chapter is not despair, it is glory. This is the seal. You are His. Forever. And nothing, no darkness, no failure, no enemy can take that away. Chosen one. You have reached the end of this journey. But this is not the end of your story. Every word you received was a reminder, a confirmation, a spark meant to awaken what was already inside you. You are not ordinary. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are chosen, sealed, crowned, and destined. Let your heart carry this truth. Nothing that came against you succeeded. You are living proof that God's promises endure. The fire refined you, but did not consume you. The storms shook you, but did not sink you. The silence stretched you, but did not separate you. Every moment has been woven into a tapestry of destiny that is still unfolding. From this day forward, walk as one who knows their worth. Speak as one whose words carry light. Stand as one who cannot be shaken. You are part of a remnant, an army, a family of chosen ones rising in this generation. You are not alone. And whenever you doubt, remember, the seal is final. The crown is yours. The light is within you. Your best days are not behind you. They are ahead, waiting to unfold as you step forward in faith and obedience. Go now. Chosen one, walk in the strength of your calling. Shine with the fire of your crown, and never again forget you are God's chosen, forever marked by His glory.